Hello students, in part 2 of stone masonry, we have discussed about rubble masonry. So in this part, we are going to discuss about ashlar masonry, that is another kind of stone masonry, as well as different types of joints used in stone masonry. So basically this ashlar masonry, it is formed by using the stones which are finely cut and dressed and that are of same size, shape. Also, the texture is very good, and they are, that are laid in cement or lime mortar. And generally, all the joints that are formed at right angle and having uniform thickness. So basically, this square or rectangular blocks of stones are generally used, which are finely dressed, and this course may be in random or uniform course. So they may be arranged in random or uniform course. So here in this figure you can see this ashlar masonry. So it is giving very good look as compared to rubble masonry. So all joints are regular, thin and having uniform thickness. And this type of masonry, as it is giving good appearance, everything is perfect. It is generally costly as compared to rubble masonry. And the height of the stone, it may vary from 250 to 300 mm, and its length should not be more than three times its height, and the its depth into the wall, it should be at least equal to the half of its height. So this type of masonry, it is suitably used for the heavy structures, architectural building, high piers and abutments of the bridges. So there are different types of ashlar masonry which are possible: ashlar fine masonry, ashlar rough tooled, ashlar rock or quarry faced, ashlar chamfered, ashlar block in course, and ashlar facing. So one by one, we will see each different types of ashlar masonry. So as far as the appearance is concerned, it is giving good appearance, as well as joints are also having uniform thickness, and there are certain differences that of particular workmanship that is generally observed in different types of ashlar masonry that we will discuss. So basically, this ashlar fine masonry, the beds, sides, and the faces, they are finely chiseled, dressed. So with the help of a chisel, they are finely fine dressing is to be applied, and each stone that are cut in uniform size and shape, and all sides are generally made that is of rectangular size. So here you can see this particular figure consisting of this ashlar fine masonry. So all the courses that are properly managed, and it gives you a very good appearance. Okay, so all the stones that give a perfectly horizontal and vertical joints with adjoining stone. So horizontal and vertical joints all are properly perfectly joined together. The stones are arranged in proper bond. So here you can see there is a proper bonding in the form of header and stretcher. So they are generally provided in the form of header stretcher, or as per the requirement you can alter the arrangement with the mortar joint, which does not exceed generally 3 mm. So perfectly smooth appearance can be obtained, and the height of the course may be around 30 centimeter, and alternate header and stretcher course may be provided. So perfect shape that can be obtained in the ashlar fine masonry. Now, second is ashlar rough tooled masonry. So the other name for it is the bastard masonry also. So the beds and the sides, they are finely chisel dressed, and the face is made rough. So यहाँ पे you can see this rough face of the stone. Okay, and also the strip. Here you can see the strip of about 25 mm wide, which is made with the help of the chisel, is provided all around the perimeter of the, so all around this perimeter, around 25 mm wide strip that may be formed around this roughly dressed stone, and the thickness of the joint should not be more than 6 mm. So as this tools are used, and the strip that is formed, and which is provided all around this rough stone, it is called as the ashlar rough tooled masonry. Next is ashlar rock or rustic or quarry faced masonry. So here also all around the stone some strip is provided. Okay, so here this strip may be around 25 mm wide, which is made by the chisel, which is provided all around the periphery of every stone which is exposed to view in case of rough tooled ashlar. जो भी आपका रफ टूल एस्पर था, जितने भी रफ स्टोन थे, exposed stone, they are also provided with a particular strip. but the remaining portion of the face is left in the same form. But बाकी का जो portion है, the remaining portion, it would be nothing is applied to them. Okay, so the remaining portion nothing is applied, and it will remain as it is, which is received from the quarry. And the projection of the exposed face, which is called as bushings, that should not exceed 80 mm, and that can be removed by hammer. So the thickness of joint may be around 10 mm, and it will give a very massive appearance to your facing of the stone masonry. Next is ashlar chamfered masonry. So basically, chamfered surface, that is beveled edge, that is provided. So it is provided as above, that is first one, but the strip is chamfered or beveled. So जो भी strip होता है, that is beveled, means it is having certain slope, and that slope is around 45 degree. Okay, by the means of chisel for the depth of about 25 mm. So 25, the depth may be maintained as 25 mm, and another strip of around 12 mm wide is then provided on the remaining exposed face of the stone. So whatever exposed face of the stone, another strip may be provided. Okay, and the surface inside the strip, it may be left in the same position as received from the quarry. So basically, this particular beveled strip or the chamfered strip, which is provided at 45-degree angle, and uh, uh, with the depth of around 25 mm, and another strip of 12 mm is additionally provided on the exposed surface. And the projection of the exposed surface, which are bushings, it should not be exceeding 80 mm, and that can be removed by the hammer. Next is ashlar block masonry, ashlar block in course masonry. So basically, it is the intermediate position between rubble and ashlar masonry as per requirement. So faces of the stones that are hammer dressed, and the thickness of the mortar does not exceed 6 mm, and the depth of the course, it may vary from 200 to 300 mm. So as per requirement, you can use the combination of this rubble masonry as well as ashlar masonry, and that can be utilized for the heavy engineering work like retaining wall or sea wall. And in some cases, it may be also adopted for the theaters, railway station, temple, bridges, and public building by the combination of two types of masonry in different courses. Next is ashlar facing masonry. So this is the best type of masonry. Okay, and since this type of masonry is very expensive, it is not commonly used throughout the whole thickness. So it is better to give the facing that is of ashlar kind, and the remaining course. So here in this figure, this is ashlar type of masonry, which is given to this facing, but inside it is of rubble kind of masonry. So inside may be of rubble kind of masonry, but the outside you can go with the ashlar facing. That's why it is called as the ashlar facing masonry. So unless and until some important structure is there or strength requirement is there, generally the facing may be provided that of ashlar kind, and the inside that may be provided of rubble kind, and that will give economy to this ashlar facing masonry. So here these are some of the pictures, ashlar masonry patterns. So this is giving a perfect view, that is called as ashlar fine masonry. This is rough tooled masonry, ashlar rough tooled masonry. So here rough stone that are provided with this particular strip. Here also ashlar chamfered, in which perfect chamfered portion that is provided up to depth of 25 mm. And here this ashlar facing, so facing part that is of ashlar masonry, but inside it may be a rubble kind of masonry. So now in stone masonry, the joints are very important. So we are going to now discuss about the different types of joints in stone masonry. So in order to secure the stones that are joined firmly together, so joints are very important in stone masonry. Okay, so that will avoid the movement of the stone, and which is also very important for giving a proper strength to your stone masonry. So proper bonding is very essential. So first is the butt joint or square joint. So basically square dressed surface of the two stones. So here two square dressed stones that are placed side by side, and this particular joint that can be provided And this is most common type of joint which is generally adopted for ordinary work. So it's a very simple kind of particular joint. Both the stone surface is brought together and that is to be joined with the help of mortar. Okay, so that is a common joint. Next is riveted or lapped joint. So rivets are generally provided to prevent the movement of stone. So here this particular thing that is called as the rivet. So normally it is used in slopes. So जब हम slopes में use करते हैं stone masonry, it will prevent the movement of the stone. And the length of this length of the rivet, it depends on the nature of the work, but it should not be less than 70 mm. And generally it is provided on arches, coping on the gables, etc., because gable, that is a sloping roof, so in arches also some curve would be there. So to prevent the movement of such stone, so generally at the curves or in the sloping side, such kind of rivets that will be useful to prevent the movement of stone. Next is joggle joint or tongued and groove joint. So basically, this tongue is a projection which is provided in one stone and corresponding groove, that is called as sinking, on the other stone. So here you can see this is the groove portion. Means khado karelo છે, બરાબર? So there is the sinking which is provided, and this is the extended projection which is generally called as tongue. So this tongue of a one stone that can be inserted in the groove of the another stone. So if you just look at here, so side by side it will look like this. Okay. So this groove portion in which you have to apply the tongue of the another stone. So this will prevent the sliding from the side joint. And this kind of joints that are rarely used due to it requires great labor and it will also become expensive. So the end portion of the Esler masonry, they are generally some joined, or sometimes they are joined with the help of certain this type of joggle joint. And generally this cement grout is poured in the joggle joint, and this tongued and groove joint, that is also called as the joggle joint. So this is nothing but it is called as joggle. Okay. So here in this figure, all the different types of joints that I have discussed that are given. So here this is butt joint, simple joint. Here this kind of rivet can be provided, and here this is joggle joint. Next is tabled or bed joint. So here also joggle is formed on the bed of the stone. So here you can see this at the bed of the stone, the joggle is formed, and that will prevent the lateral movement of the stone. So here the lateral movement that will be prevented by the use of such type of table joint. And the depth of the projection, this depth, it should be around 40 mm, and the width of the projection, it is one third of the width of the stone. So width and depth that are generally specified, and it as it is giving the shape of like of table, that's why it is also called as the table joint. And generally it is useful for the sea wall where the lateral pressure is heavy. Okay, so it will prevent the lateral movement of the stone by the provision of such kind of table joint. Next is saddle or water joint. So generally it is provided to protect the joints of the cornices and such other weathered surfaces जहाँ पे भी पानी आता है. So here such kind of saddle joint that can be provided. So generally the stone is rounded off. So generally the stone is rounded off, and such arrangement that will help to move the water on the weathered surface and divert it from the joint. So the water will be diverted from the joint and it will be fallen away from that particular joint. So that will save it from the water. Okay, and it will help to divert the flow to the weathered surface. And next is recicated joint. So this recicated joint that is generally useful for the plinths or masonry in the lower story of the building, and generally it is used to give a very massive appearance to your structure. So there are different forms which are available in which the stones can be joined. So here this V type of joint, channel joints. So these are channel joints that are V and channel joint combination of that. This is molded joint. So by giving such different arrangements or jointing of the surfaces, it will help in giving a massive appearance to your particular structure. Next is plugged joint. So basically it is consisting of plug holes of dovetail shape in plan. So here the hole is made that is of dovetail kind of thing, and this in this hole which is cut below the top surface of the stone. So top surface of stone पे dovetail का shape का एक hole create करेंगे, and when the stones are placed in position, so both the stones that are placed in position, the molten lead can be applied. Okay, molten lead that can be poured in the joint, and when it cool down it connects both the stones very firmly, and instead of molten lead you can also utilize cement, and generally it is useful in the coping and cornices. So here in plan you can just see this is the hole of the plug, and here this molten lead that can be applied, or some cement can also be applied. Next is dowel joint. So here also the hole is cut into each stone, and so here the hole is cut, and in this particular hole, the loose dowels. So what are dowels? That are the small pieces of hard stones like slate, gunmetal, copper, brass, or bronze that are inserted. So in the hole, stone dowels that can be inserted. Okay, and these dowels are set in cement mortar. This type of joint is used to ensure the stability of stones against sliding or displacement. So they will save it against sliding as well as displacement. And these dowel joints that can be used in the place of joggle joint. Joggle joint की जगह पे आप dowel joint use कर सकते हो by formation of hole in the stone and then insert the dowels. Next is cramped joint. So basically the metal clamps are used instead of dowels. Instead of dowels, now we are using such kind of metal clamps. So these metal clamps are generally pieces of non-corrosive metals such as gunmetal or copper. Okay, so copper or gunmetal that are used as clamps, and their ends are turned down to be a depth of about 40 to 50 mm. So the depth may be around 40 to 50 mm, and this type of cramps, they will prevent the tendency of joints to be pulled apart, so it will not allow them to pull apart. And the dovetail shape holes that are generally made in both the stones. So here dovetail type of holes or cut that is made in both the stones to be joined, and into that you have to place this cramp above that in position, and then the joint is grouted and covered with the cement, lead, or asphalt. So by applying either lead, cement, or asphalt, you can properly firmly join both the stones together with the help of cramp. That's why it is called as cramped joint. So here I have discussed all the different types of joints as well as ashlar masonry in detail, and I hope that whatever contents that which I have shared, that will be useful to you. So thank you very much, all of you.